Hi viewers, it's me Satya from Shutterpix.in. Today we are going to see why we should always record in SLog format. Maybe in general any of the log formats like CLog from Canon, NLog from Nikon or VLog from Panasonic. Many people avoid recording in log format because they look rubbish straight out of the camera. Very low contrast, no saturation and it looks very flat. So people avoid it. Color grading is required to bring the life back into the video. Many times, even professionals avoid log format because their project doesn't require color grading or the budget is not enough to perform the color grading or sometimes like lack of skills. What if I say the transformation from any of the log forms to standard form could be done in single click? Yes, just single click. No creative color grading skill is required. Just through configuration, we could transform any of the log format footage into a standard output form like Rec.709 or HDR format. There are two ways in which this mapping could be done. One is input LUTs and the second one is editing software's color management technique. Before getting in there, let's understand what is log format. If you are in a hurry and want to know the mapping techniques, skip to this timestamp. The bar at the bottom represents the standard dynamic range. It's also called Rec.709 specification. Most of our monitors belong to this category of SDR. Whereas the camera's dynamic range is much larger than the Rec.709 specs and it's represented by the bar at the top. In order to fit the data from the camera sensor to this standard display, camera does a mapping and compresses the shadows and highlights and retains most of the midtones to produce an image as realistic as possible. In the log form of coding, let's say SLog2, SLog3 and other forms, logarithm is used to represent the values of this brightness. Shadow and highlight values are retained. It's not exactly compressing, instead representing in a way. Shadows, midtones and highlights, all of them are retained, but while displayed in a SDR monitor, it looks flat. Properly doing color grading, we can bring out the richness in the video. Every camera manufacturer provides LUTs to transform their log footage into a standard Rec.709 format. For Sony, search with this key term, visit this link. Here you can download the respective LUTs. If you are using SLog2, you could download this. If you are using SLog3, you could download this. Let's try this one. Read the agreement and then click download. The LUT should have been downloaded. It have few LUTs to map SLog3 to some of the standards like 709, SLog3 to SLog2 709, SLog3 Cine to 709. You can use a LUT as per your requirements. All the popular video editing software enable this transformation. First, let's look at how this can be done in Adobe Premiere Pro. In Premiere Pro, I created a new project, imported a video. This video is in log format. You could see, I'm just playing it. You could see the dull color. To enable Premiere Pro to do the auto management of color space, we have to go to the project setting, files, project settings, color. Here you enable this tick box, auto detect log video color space. So from the metadata of the video, it detects the color space of the input video and then apply the transformation as required. Let's enable this, tick this and then click OK. Now let's create a new timeline, new sequence. File, new sequence. I created one, creating a sequence. Right click the sequence and then go to sequence setting. Here under color space, select Rec.709 auto tone map media. What we are saying is that this specific sequence is going to output Rec.709 format. And then whatever may be the input color space, that would get auto tone mapped to this output format. Let's say we have videos of multiple form. Let's say one of the video footage is in SLog2, other is in SLog3, other one is SLog3 Cine3. All of them would get mapped to the consistent output. This is far better than using an input LUT, and in the input LUT technique, each of the footage should be assigned a specific LUT to be used to transform, and then the transformation is hard coded. In this technique, if you select, instead of Rec.709, if you select 2100 HLG, it became an HDR video. This auto mapping happens automatically. For now, let's select 709, click OK. We have the timeline, we have the sequence here, import the video. Now you see the colors. Okay, you play the source, it is dull. This is the actual format of recording. Whereas you go to the sequence does the mapping, and then you could see the color enhanced 709 output. Let's say for some reason input video doesn't have the metadata of the color space to which it belongs, then we could assign it manually. Right click the video clip, go to modify, and within that color tab, we would have like played with the interpret footage many times for the frame rate. Just come to the color tab. Here use a media color space. So in my case, it automatically identified this video belongs to SLog3 and Cine3. Instead, if you don't want to use this, and then or if this is none, then probably you could select override and then select the value that you want. And here like all the cameras log format are listed, and then you could select the one that you are working with. Now let's see how this transformation could be performed in Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve. In DaVinci Resolve, I created a new project, imported a clip into it. Just previewing it, it's a SLog3 footage, and you could see that. First, we have to enable color management in DaVinci Resolve. For that, go to the settings here, and within that color manage tab, here you select color science as DaVinci Resolve color manage. And then based on your output, like right now I have selected SDR Rec.709. This is the current output that I am looking for. Select and then save. Now create a new timeline. So in this timeline, I just imported this video. You could see that, and it's still not mapped to Rec.709. DaVinci Resolve does that automatically based on the metadata in the clip. In this specific clip, I don't have a metadata. Right click and select input color space. Here various cameras are listed minus Sony, and from there you could select the gamma that you had used. In my case, I have used Cine3 SLog3. I'm selecting that. Voila, now we got automated mapping. If you are staying this far, as a bonus content, let's see how you can record SLog3 videos in Sony cameras. To record SLog3 footage in Sony camera, get into the video recording mode, then go to the menu, image setting 1, navigate to page number 11, get into the picture profiles. Right now it is set to off. You can go to any one of them. All of them are same. There were like some predefined settings in each of them. You could go to one of them. I'm going to picture profile 1. Click right, and then change the value of gamma. Here you could select SLog3 or any other value that you prefer, HLG and so on. To get better result, navigate to color mode. There update the value to, change the value to S gamma 3 Cine 3. Now select this profile. Done. I have kept few colorful items in the scene to observe the loss of saturation and contrast. Let me switch between picture profile off and 1 few times to see that. Right now we are in picture profile 1, we see some colors and contrast, whereas in this it is completely lost. If you see right now, the outer edges of the frame are a little bit dark, and then center portion is like brighter. But if you come down to picture profile 1, the complete wall looks equally illuminated, but it's not. There was some gradient between the center of the frame to outside. And during color grading, if you prefer, we can retain even lighting of the background, or based on our taste, we could light them as we wish in the post processing. This is the power of recording in log. This also have a challenge. So while recording in SLog, it's difficult to judge the saturation level as well as exposure level, because it's already kind of flattened out. So it's really difficult to nail the exposure. While recording to get the feel of Rec.709, we could use SLog assist. Go to the settings, page 1, gamma display assist. Right now I set it to auto. So whatever may be the form, let's say SLog2, 3 or HLG, the display applies an auto correction and then the back side of the camera shows the 709 mapping, whereas recording into the memory card happens in SLog. If you keep it off, no correction is applied to the display. If you keep it auto, it identifies the log form and applies a correct transformation. Or you could select the specific one that you are working. I prefer to keep it at auto. You are not seeing the gamma display assist because output HDMI is not corrected, whereas only the backside LCD of the camera is corrected for the display. You try the setting in your camera and let me know how it worked in the comments. Why to go to the hassle of recording in log format and then mapping it to Rec.709? The answer is flexibility and independence. The earlier the project we freeze a variable, it cannot be changed at the later stage. Let's say we record in 709, we cannot do the color grading. Of course we could do, but it would be limited by the available data. So it's better to record in log format at the later stage of the project. If color grading is required, we can perform the color grading. If not, do the mapping and deliver the project. By that we have the flexibility and independence. Hope you find this video useful. If so, give a like and subscribe to see many such videos. If you have any thoughts or inputs, share them in the comments. See you in another video. Bye.